Hi, I'm going to show you how to install the button repair kit in this remote control for fireplaces. Now this is made for or used in Vermont Castings, Honeywell, Kozy Heat, Lennox, and probably others. But they all look the same. Same button layout, same display, same housing, just a different label. So I'm going to get really into this right away. To take the screws out, the easiest to use is a Torx T8 bit. You can use a flat head screwdriver of the right size, but it's a little bit harder. I've got the Torx T8 bit here, and one of the screws is missing, but that's not a big deal. Take the 4 screws out. There's 2 up here. And take the back. The back comes off easier from the bottom first, usually. This one's broken up here. I'm going to show you that. So it's catching on this spring here, no big deal. Just pull that off. Usually it kind of comes off like this, and you get it off there. So what the issue here is, there's this plastic hook hooks onto the circuit board right there. And I don't really love this design. The circuit board is held in with 2 very fragile plastic clips, and they're broken on this one. So if they weren't broken, there's also 2 little clips down here. And to take the board out, what you want to do is, you'd rather break these if you had to, but you can just push them back and then get the board to come out. And of course, the wires are connected here, so you don't get it, you can't pull it very far, but then that allows you to kind of pull it backwards away from these clips without trying to bend these. And then you can get the board out like that. And then we got the buttons here, the keypad here, and this is a button repair pad. So what you do at this point is just clean up these contacts, as they're probably going to be dirty, with some I like 90% or better isopropyl alcohol, but if you only have 70%, it'll work. You just have to make sure it's dried before you put the repair kit on. So you just clean those up good and wait for the isopropyl to dry. I'm going to use the dry end of the Q-tip to help it along a little bit. This one didn't need to be repaired. I'm just showing you that. The paper backing has to come off of these, and it's easier to do with a pin or something like sharp like a pin, where you can pinch the paper and the pin won't go through the plastic on the other side, so you can easily grab the paper that way. Once you get it going, it'll come off easy. If you're having any difficulty taking the paper off, it's because you're splitting the plastic layers. There's 2 plastic layers. Instead of peeling the paper off, you're peeling the plastic layers apart. So it's all, once you get it started, it's super easy to take that off, even if it's 10, 15 years old. And then you just line this up. It's pretty easy. There is a hole here, but that doesn't do anything, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, no. So we don't have to worry about that. Just put that over there so you're covering the buttons, and it's kind of centered, you can see. And now this has a spacer in there, so it holds these black conductive dots off the board a little bit, and then when you press your old buttons, it presses down on these. And that replaces the conductive material, and this stuff never wears out. So now, if your plastic tabs weren't broken, you would have to kind of try to go in here like this at an angle a little bit and get that under there, and then this end would snap down. I always find these a little bit rattly anyway, and I like to put in foam, some craft foam in here, but you could wrap, take maybe a paper towel or cotton ball and put it up here, or a paper towel and fold it a couple times. So when you put this back on, it will hold it there. Now, if your tabs are broken like mine are, what I suggest doing is this Gorilla Glue called Clear Grip, or it's Shoe Goo from another brand, or E6000 you might find. Almost any glue aisle will have one of those, and they're all the same. It's kind of this clear glue that takes a while to dry, but it never hardens. It stays a little bit flexible, and if you need to take this apart again, you can just grab it with like a pair of needle nose pliers and pull it right off. But it's also holds on good and strong. You don't want to use definitely no super glue, and any other kind of glue I just don't think would work. Put little dabs there. Now this, if you're going this route with the glue, it's going to take a while, few hours at least, Technically, it says you have to wait 24 hours for it to completely harden, or completely dry. It doesn't harden. And you want it to, it does, you don't want it to rest on the buttons. Like if you put it down like this, the buttons are putting pressure on the board and pushing it up. Where if I'm, and it's kind of, it's not staying down all the way, and we want it to stay down all the way. So this is going to be set somewhere to dry, and I need it to not touch the buttons when it's resting on it. So you might have to set it down on like something, a couple of things to prop it up, and then you might want to put something on here for weight. I don't have anything here for an example, but just something to, maybe a book or something you just put there. Keep it away from the glue because you don't want to glue your book down. But any kind of pressure right there will keep this down long enough for that to dry. Because, yeah, as I said before, this clip grabs onto the circuit board, and that's the only thing holding the top down. If you put it together without this stuff, it'll work. Your 4 screws will hold it together. It'll just be a little bit more loosey-goosey up there and maybe rattle a little bit more. So that's how you fix that. So now it's all set and your button should work good. This is for hard to press buttons, like say you use the up and down all the time, and they're starting to get hard to push. If all your buttons don't work, your remote needs to be repaired. I've seen a whole bunch of these. Sometimes the display just keeps resetting every time so you try to turn it on, the screen flashes and it's off again because the whole thing reset when you try to turn it on. Sometimes it's dead. Sometimes it acts funny, or it seems to be working a little bit but won't let you make any adjustments. I've seen a lot of that, but I repair these and can fix pretty much anything except if the screen is busted. This plastic cover can be cracked. That's not the screen. The screen is inside and it's made of glass, and if you crack it, you probably see a line in black. The screen will be dark around the crack. Although it is possible if you drop this thing to smash, like crack a corner somewhere and you don't see it. But that's pretty rare in this one. I haven't seen that. I've seen it in other stuff. But yeah, other than smashed LCD, I can't do anything about this chip, but pretty much other problems I can fix. And that membrane will make sure that the buttons will work forever. They'll outlast your fireplace. So then to put it back together once that glue dries, I can't really do it now. You just hook that you have to start up at the top and hook that plastic in there, and then just put those 4 screws back in. Before you do glue this, I would just put the cover back on, put the batteries in, and make sure it's working before you spend the time gluing and waiting for it to dry. But that's it.